Yeah, good evening students, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. So what was the last topic we discussed in the last class?
Sir, importance of pH in everyday life.
Yeah, which is there on the screen, is that only the final topic?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. So once
Yes, sir.
again,
Now discuss pH change and self-defense, sir.
we have to discuss that pH change in the tooth decay, that also.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah. So once again, see here. So here once last class, once we revise, we discussed like acids. That two types of acids are there based on the strength. They are strong acids and weak acids. And strong means what? Which ionizes completely, means which is completely splits into ions in aqueous solution. So they are called as the strong acids, or we can say which produces more number of hydrogen ions. They are called strong acids. Example: hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, etc. And weak acid means what? Which ionizes incompletely, means partially. They are called as a weak acids. Example is what? Acetic acid, or you can say ethanoic acid, carbonic acid, okay, etc. We can give an example. Okay, then come to the next one, that is types of bases. Here bases also based on the strength, they are classified into two types called as a strong bases and weak bases. Definition remains same. A base which completely ionizes in aqueous solution are called as a strong bases, which ionizes incomplete are called as a weak bases. Okay, example for the, and bases releases hydroxide, OH minus ions, OH ions. Okay, and all bases contains OH, remember here OH hydroxide. So strong base example: sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Okay, and weak acids, weak bases of what? Ammonium hydroxide and magnesium hydroxide, and so on. Right? Now then come to the pH scale also we discussed here. So pH is what? The negative logarithm of hydrogen ion concentration is called as a pH, and pH scale is nothing but a to determine the strength of acids and bases. Okay, this is a scale which is used for measuring the hydrogen ion concentration in a solution, is called as a pH. Okay, and it was introduced by the Sorensen. Who introduced it? Sorensen. And a P stands for power and H stands for hydrogen ion concentration. Okay, and it is actually logarithmic scale that we discuss later. And here pH can be defined as what? The negative logarithm of hydrogen ion concentration is called pH. Okay, so here, and I said that pH value ranges from 0 to 14. Yes. Chalo, now this one, importance of pH now. Right, importance of pH in our daily life. We are discussing about the importance of pH in our daily life. So first we discussed about the soil of pH and plants and growth. In the last class I said that the plant generally when they grow when the pH is very close to 7. Yes or no? The pH is very close to 7. So then the pH then the plants will grow normally, healthily. Okay, so here if the pH value increases or decreases, okay, then what happens? The plants may not to grow. So if the pH value decreases, means becomes less than, very less than 7, then that soil becomes acidic. If it is more than 7, then the soil becomes basic. So first you have to neutralize that. Okay, and then come to the pH in our digestive system. This also we discussed. Our stomach produces the hydrochloric acid. This helps in digesting the food. But when you eat the spices food or an excessive food, then what happens? Excess of hydrochloric acid is released in the stomach, and that causes the pain and irritation, okay, in the stomach. So that is called acidity. That problem is called acidity. To get rid from this acidity, we have to use the, okay, antacids. Antacid means what? Which is opposite to the acids. So antacids and like magnesium hydroxide, which is also called as the milk of magnesia, which is also called milk of magnesia. Okay, so that we discuss. Now pH. Okay, next is what pH as a cause of tooth decay. Yeah, now let's see now. What is the tooth decay? Come on, Srinivas and Chaitanya.
Sir, formation of cavities.
Yeah, formation of cavity in the tooth is called as a tooth decay, right? So how this tooth decay causes in our teeth? Right. So I'll explain you. Listen carefully now. So here our tooth is made up of a strong substance called calcium phosphate. Okay, you know that our tooth is very hard. Yes or no? It is strong. It is made up of calcium phosphate. What it is made up of?
Calcium phosphate.
Calcium phosphate. It is very strong. Okay. So, but here what happens? But calcium phosphate is basic in nature. Okay. So, it can react with the acid. It can react with the acids, right? So, here what happens? When you eat anything food, okay, and after eating the food, if you don't clean your mouth, okay, if you don't clean your mouth, then what happens? Food particles will be left in the gaps of the teeth. Yes or no? Okay, right. So then what happens? A bacteria is produced in that, and that decompose that food, that disintegrate that food particles present, okay, in the gaps of the mouth. Okay, and during that they releases the acid. During that, what they releases? Acid. Okay. Similarly, mainly when you eat the sweets, when you this mostly takes place when you eat the sweets. So that's what generally parents will say that when you eat the sweet, okay, generally you have to immediately have to wash your mouth, clean your mouth. Okay, because the sweet is okay, when the sweet is struck, okay, in the gaps of the teeth, then what happens? The bacteria which is there, that bacteria will okay, produce there, and that grow there and develop there, and that releases a type of acid. Okay, so this acidic strength, when it becomes less than 5.5, I said the pH value ranges from 0 to 14. Did you remember? 0 to 14. See here, down numbers are there, 0 to 14. Yes or no? So 0 to 14, these are the, so 0 to 7 are the acids, and 7 is a neutral, 7 to 14 are the bases. So when the pH value becomes less than 5.5, so less than 5.5 means what? This all very strong. Okay, this becomes strong. As you are moving, the acid becomes weak. As you move to the left side, it becomes strong. So what happens? Okay, so this acid when okay, the pH value becomes less than 5.5, okay, then what happens? This will react with the okay, teeth, calcium phosphate, and it causes a tooth decay. And it causes what? Tooth decay. Is this clear to you? So how can you prevent the tooth decay then? How do you prevent? So here we can prevent by two methods. Okay, one is that after eating the food, especially after eating the sugar, means the sweets, then you have to clean your mouth. Okay, wash your mouth. Okay, make it your mouth clean. That's the first thing. Okay, so that bacteria cannot develop. Okay, and second thing is that you use the paste. Yes or no? Generally, normally we use a toothpaste. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this toothpaste should be basic in nature. It should not be acidic. It should be basic, because when you sleep in the night, so then what happens? A bacteria will come and it will produce, means it will produce the acids. So when you morning, when you brush it, what happens? If your toothpaste consists of base, okay, base, then what happens? It will react with that bacteria and which is producing with the acid. So that becomes neutralizers. So it keep our teeth neutralized. Means what? Not acidic, not basic. So it keep okay our teeth tooth okay protective. Is this clear to you now? So whenever you purchase the toothpaste, though it's not like that you are seeing the Shah Rukh Khan or something on the screen, okay, and array Shah Rukh Khan using this toothpaste, so I can also use this toothpaste. No, it's not like that. You have to check, okay, what are the ingredients are present in that toothpaste, okay. So then you see what are the basic materials are there. If basic materials are there, such type of basic toothpaste you should use so that okay neutralize the acids produced in our mouth and that will protect our teeth. Is this clear to you? Yes. Right. Now you see here the bacteria present in our mouth convert the sugar into acid. See, this is most important point. The bacteria present in our mouth converts sugar. Sugar means sweets also. Don't think that only sugar. So which is sweet. Okay, sugars into acids. Whenever you eat the sugar or sweets, anything, immediately wash your mouth. So when the pH of acid formed in the mouth falls below 5.5, tooth decay starts. Okay, so normally our tooth means our in our mouth pH will be what slightly basic or neutral. The value is 7, okay, or slightly more than 7 means what it's basic. But as when you eat the sweets, if any sugar particles or sweet particles are left, then what happens? The bacteria produces the acid and our the pH value in the mouth it will reduces to 5.5. When the mouth pH becomes less than 5.5, falls below, then what happens? The tooth decay starts. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Now the best way to prevent this is to clean the mouth after eating food. So manam first to prevent. Okay, prevention is better than cure. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
After happening anything, if you go to the doctor, then we have to suffer. First, before going to the doctor, we'll suffer with some pain. After going to the doctor, we'll give the injections and something. There also we have to bear the pain. So this all long process. So instead of curing, it's better to prevent. Yes or no? Prevention is better than curing. So starting only, okay, the best way to prevent this is to clean the mouth after eating food. Using toothpaste, which toothpaste? Which are generally basic. This is most important point, okay, which is basic, okay. So which is basic, this point is important. The toothpaste you have to use which are basic for cleaning the teeth that can neutralize the excess acids and prevent the tooth decay. Is this clear to you? Understood now this point? Right. Now let's go to the last and final one, self-defense by animals, plants through chemical warfare. So here it is nothing but a, say you know that what that honeybee. Yes?
Yes, sir.
So when honeybees are keeping like no honey this one okay, తేనెతిట్టే, you know no తేనెతిట్టే Telugu, you know, okay. అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి నువ్వు రాయిస్తావు అనుకుందాం. If you go near to that, then what happens? All will attack you. Did you listen any time?
Yes, sir. It happened to me once.
So they will attack. So but we have the okay, then only when we attack we use some stick or something to protect us or to attack someone. But what they do? So they sting us. Okay, what they do?
Stingers.
They sting us. When they sting, then what happens? Okay, while stinging, they releases some acid in our body. They releases some acid. So that acid, okay, causes a pain and it causes some chemical reactions in our body. So our okay, the face bulges and something okay affects you. So see a bee sting leaves an acid. See a bee sting leaves an acid which causes pain and irritation. So it causing the pain also and irritation also. So if anything that thing has happened, so immediately what you should use? Use a mild base like baking soda on the stung area, gives relief. Okay, so whenever if okay, even red ant also, it will be okay harmful to us, yes or no? Okay, so means red ant also, if it sting, then it get pain to us. Okay, so when it is unbearable, then what you have to do, then you have to take the baking soda. Generally in our house the baking soda will be there, so take baking soda. If you want to add little amount of water, make like a paste and rub it on. So what happens, here this is the base, and those are releasing what acids, that is generally methanoic acid. What type of acid they releases? Methanoic acid. So here the acid is methanoic acid. This methanoic acid, okay, so here releases acid. Okay, here I am writing this acid name is methanoic acid. The formula is HCOOH. This is the formula. Okay, remember. So this is a methanoic acid releases. So here that is acidic, so we can neutralize by using the base. So therefore, what you have to do? You have to apply the baking soda paste on the place where, okay, on the stung area. Is this clear to you? Chalo, now take the screenshot of this one. Now it is take lot of time to write, so take the screenshot, but you have to write in your notebook.
Sir.
Took?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
good. So now, so with this the part of acids and bases are done, but left with the salt. Left with what? Salt. Now what is the salt? How the salt is formed? Already we discussed. How salts are formed?
Sir, when acids and bases react with each other.
Very good. So when acid react with the base, it forms the salt. Okay. So here you see now. So salt. How the salts are formed? The reaction between. Okay. So the reaction between acid and a base to give the salt and water. So when an acid is reacting with the base, it forms salt and water. So we can get the salt when acid react with base. And what is this reaction is known as neutralization reaction. The reaction is known as neutralization. So if acid we take, that is acidic in nature, so we get it to neutral. So that what we add opposite to that, that is base. Okay, so this is called a neutralization reaction. And in general, how do we write the reaction? So we write like this: base plus acid react with the salt, react with each other to form salt and water. This is simple reaction. Like this we write how the salts are formed. So salts are formed when acid react with the base. Okay, one simple example is what? Hydrochloric acid is the acid, sodium hydroxide is the base. When they are combining, so from here sodium, from here chlorine are coming like this and forming sodium chloride NaCl. Now what is left now? Now left with here OH, here H. So here one H and here 2H, H2 and here one O. So this becomes H2O. 1, 2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. So H2O is nothing but a water. Is this clear to you? So like this, this is a base and reacting with the acid, it forms salt and water. So example, sodium hydroxide, this I gave an example as a strong base, and hydrochloric acid, this also I have given an example as a strong acid. So when this base and acid are reacting, so we are getting one salt. So this is the salt, okay, and this is the water. Is this clear? Chalo, note down this one now. Or you want to take a screenshot, you can take a screenshot also, no issue. But you have to write all this in the notebook, that's most important. Chalo. Now, so you came to know that salt is formed when acid react with the base. Now, acid is acidic in nature, base is basic in nature. So when both acid and base are reacting, it is forming the salt. okay, and water. Now you say what is the nature of salt? Come on, student. Acid is acidic in nature, base is basic in nature. Now acid and base we are mixing, so we are getting a salt. Now what is the nature of salt? Whether it is acidic or basic or neutral? Come on, try to answer anything.
Sir?
What happened? I am asking the question, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Ah,
Before it was breaking a little bit. Voice.
So I am asking the question, acids are acidic in nature, bases are basic in nature. Now I am mixing both acid and base together. Okay, so it forms a salt and water. Now what is the nature of the salt? I am asking whether it is acidic or basic or neutral. Yes,
Neutral, sir.
neutral. Whether whatever the salts, okay, we can get from the acids and bases, whether all these salts are neutral or not.
All salts are neutral only, sir.
All salts are neutral,
Yes, sir.
but answer is no. But answer is no. So we have the salts. So three types of salts are there. How many types of salts are there?
Three types.
Three types. One are neutral salt, one are acidic salt, one are basic salts. So the salts, some salts are neutral. They are neither acidic nor basic. Some salts, they are salts, but still they are acidic in nature. And there are some salts, they are also salts, but they are basic in nature. Okay? Now,
Yes, sir.
when this happen, how this happen, can you say, can you guess?
Sir, when more amount of acid and less amount of base are mixed together, acidic salts are formed.
So instead of more amount or less amount, we can say like this, okay? Strong acid react with the weak, first we say this one here. So here first we discuss about the neutral salt. So I said no, three types of salts are there, okay? One are neutral, one are acidic, one are basic. So when the neutral will form, when see here, neutral means what? Both are same. Like means, for example, neutral means what? It is zero. Okay, so here what happens, if two persons are fighting, you think both two persons are fighting, if this both the persons have the same strength, you think this and this person A and B are fighting, both are having the same strength, then who will win?
No one, sir.
No one. So here also what happens, if acid and bases are reacting, for example, you think I already said that acids two types, strong acids and weak acids, and base also I said that two types, strong base and weak bases. So if acid and bases both are of same strength, okay, or combining, then we can get the salt is neutral. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So neutral salt means what? A salts of strong acid and strong base are neutral. So when a strong acid is reacting with the strong base, then we can form the salt that is neutral. That is neutral. Neutral means what? Neither acidic nor basic. Okay. So already I gave an example for strong base. So strong base is sodium hydroxide and strong acid is hydrochloric acid. So this strong, this also strong. When both are mixing, we are getting a salt which is neutral, and water. So sodium chloride. So this salt is called NaCl is sodium chloride. So sodium chloride is a neutral salt. Why it is neutral salt? Because it is formed from the same strength acid and same strength of base, like strong acid and a strong base. So that's what it is neutral. Is this clear to you now?
Yes, sir.
So that is about the neutral salt. So salts are of three types. One are called neutral salt, second called acidic salt, third one are called basic salts. Neutral salts are formed when a strong acid react with the strong base. Right. So come on, now you copy this one, note down this one.
Done, sir.
Done. Srinivas, you are also done. Yeah, very good. Chalo, did you understand the neutral?
Yes, sir.
Chalo, now I am asking the question to you. Now both are there, one Chaitanya, one Srinivas. One is going to explain now how the acidic salts are formed, other one is going to explain how the basic salts are formed. This salt is neutral salt. Neutral salt is formed from strong acid react with the strong base. Now I want acidic acid. How this acidic acid is formed? Who will say?
Sir, I can say, sir.
Yeah, Chaitanya, very good boy.
Sir,
Continue.
when strong acid and weak base are mixed together, acidic salt is formed, sir.
Very good boy, very good. Okay, so here when a strong acid reacting with the weak base, so whose strength is more here?
Acid, sir.
Acid. When acid reacts with the base, it forms salt. That's okay. But in this, both are not equal strength. One is strong and one is weak. So whose power is more strong? So that is acid. So that's what, whatever the salt is formed, that is acidic salt. Is this clear to you now?
Yes, sir.
So see here, acidic salt. Acidic salt, how it formed? The salts of strong acid. See here, strong acid and weak base. Strong acid and weak base. So whose power is more? Power of acid is more. This is more power. And weak base, power is less. But of course, acid and base when react, it forms the salt. But in this salt, whose power is more? Acid power is more. So that's what, whatever the salt is forming here, that salt is acidic in nature. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Example for strong acid already I have given hydrochloric acid. Example for weak base I have given ammonium hydroxide. When these both are forming, the salt is forming. That salt is ammonium chloride, and this ammonium chloride is acidic salt because it is formed from strong acid and weak base, though acid strength is more. So this ammonium chloride is acidic salt, and the name of this one is ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride is acidic salt. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Chalo, now copy. Now this note down. Srinivas, now next is your turn. How the basic salt will form, you have to say. But first you copy this one. First you note down this one.
Done, sir.
Srinivas also.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Srinivas. So we completed neutral salts. We completed acidic salt. Now we want basic salt. Now you have to say what are the basic salts, how they are formed.
Strong base plus weak acid will form.
Very good boy, very good. So here we next go to the basic salt. So basic salt is what? Chalo, this is the basic salt. So as Srinivas said, the basic salt is formed when weak acid, acid is weak, and strong base, base is strong. So whose power is more here? Base power is more. So that's what the salt is, basic. So base power is strong, base is strong. So base power is strong. So the salt formed is basic. So here what we can write generally. So this is a weak acid. Example, acetic acid. This is called acetic acid. Already give the names also. And this is reacting with a strong base. So this is what sodium hydroxide. That's a strong base. Now it is forming the salt. This salt is called here sodium acetate. What is the name of this salt? Sodium acetate. This salt is forming. But this salt is formed from strong base and weak acid. So that's what the nature of this salt is what? Basic. The nature of the salt is what? Basic. And of course water is forming here. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Note down this one also.
Done, sir.
Now, in the first slide, we discussed about the strong acid react with the strong base. So, which salt is formed? Neutral salt. When strong acid react with the weak base, which salt is formed? Acidic salt. In the third one, strong base is reacting with the weak acid. Then which salt is formed? Basic salt. Of course, for example, if both acid and base are weak acid reacting with a weak base, then
Neutral.
neutral only, because both are same, no, same strength, weak, this also weak, that also weak. Okay, so that's all. So is this clear to you of the types of acids and bases?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. So with this, okay, slides have done till here only. So with this, we'll stop today. And see here, this Saturday you have an exam. Okay, every alternate Saturday will have a small test. Yes or no? So this Saturday also will have a test to you. So prepare, and the topic is only acids, bases, and salts. Till today, what we are completed about the acids, bases, and salts. So read what are the acids, how the physical properties, and how they turns the blue litmus to red, methyl orange indicate red, like that, and how the bases and their chemical properties also read, like how the acid react with metals so that it liberates the hydrogen gas. So like this, based on this, you will have a questions to you. Okay, so till salts. But here you see, here you have to learn the formulas is very important, students. Okay, so like acids, important acids like hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid, formulas also important, because I make you like which of the following is the strong acid, or what is the name of the what is the formula of the acid. So then you have to should know the formula name also. Okay, so that's what, once you go through this acids, bases, what I explained you, notes, everything is written now, nothing is left, left now.
Sir.
Yeah, very good. So read it slowly, you read, no problem, but read perfectly. Okay, and this Saturday you'll have a test. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, all the best. And in this we have one more topic is also there, that is uses of salts. After that we close this with this chapter is done. This I'll explain in the next week. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. Okay then. Bye. You can leave.